Hello there folks, this is Ferenc on board again. This time I am creating a video on a topic that is quite sensitive and largely debated, also more like commonly accepted rather than largely debated. The topic of today that I'm wishing to speak, and this time I'm really hoping that it is a very short and simple video because I'm intending this video to be more like for the use. This video is about angel numbers and a general aspect of what they are and if they actually have any meaning for you in your life. Now angel numbers are actually a sequence of let's call them numbers in a way. I mean, you have figures that actually start repeating in a person's life. They can start happening at literally any period of life, depending on the individual, depending on when each and every one chose to uh, start being reminded of the greater aspect that they are. Now, if we are to dive a bit into, spirituality and such, it is said that everything is actually decided more or less upon. We have the Egyptians saying maktub, okay, it had been written, right? And it's been told and foretold for like centuries, even thousands of years, okay? And angel numbers are just one of the things that were told about, but nowadays you don't have too many people that are going to tell you about these. Sure, you'll have a lot of sources like the internet that will tell you, but you won't learn about these in school, and most likely people won't take them into account because the way life exists on this planet is more or less do everything possible against yourself rather than understanding and embracing yourself. So angel numbers are basically a sequence of figures, either 1 or 2 or 3, and they will start appearing into people's lives. Now, if you want to understand the universe, Nikola Tesla said, you have to understand it in terms of frequency and vibration. Okay, so what is frequency and vibration? Well, these are some terms that I'd invite each and everyone to do some research on their own, because I don't like giving definitions to what I call fuzzy concepts, namely things that people can understand in a different way. Now, since we are alive, and not necessarily because we are biological, we have our own vibration and our own frequency. This is not only to biological people, because anything in and around us is alive. Our cells are alive, and all the substances we have in us are basically alive because they have a vibration of their own. Everything is energy more or less, and at this level, at this the universe vibrating at this frequency, okay, makes matter, okay. Matter is a much more concentrated form of energy, and that's how things kind of work around here. Everything is much more dense and everything is much more concentrated. Who knows, at lower vibrations things might be even more choking. At times things around can get a bit choking. Now with angel numbers, each and every individual will have their own angel numbers. Now these are just some codes that will try to wake you up in ways like, for example, becoming more and more repetitive. Angel numbers most likely exist in our lives ever since we are young, but for some reason, and of course we're not that aware when they start appearing at first, and the point is they will keep appearing for as long as it is needed, because many people will probably freak out. It's like a race starts on because society will always prepare you to fight against yourself instead of for yourself. So when you start seeing certain things repeat in your life, most likely you'll start freaking out, and you'll start asking yourself what's wrong with you, right? So let's say that you start seeing 11 a lot, okay? 11 is usually the first angel number that people see, either at the clock 1111, or I don't know, they buy something and it's strangely $11.11 or just $11. you see car plates going by, cars going by you, and it's like 11, another one with 11. Like, when this happened to me, I had one specific day. I walked for around 3 hours, I think, at most, and it's like all the cars around me had the number 11 on their plates. And I was thinking at a chapter in a novel that I wanted to write, and well, that chapter most likely I will turn into the trading card game plugin that I want to create for my game. And basically I saw 40 11s. Okay, many people would say, not that much, because again, you will actually fight a lot against yourself, and these numbers, believe me, they will simply keep popping up until you actually start finding a certain meaning for them. Now, how do you find out what these actually mean? Well, first of all, most likely you will start looking on the internet, because let's face it, you have all the inspiration there. Now, how will you know exactly what to look? Well, angel numbers actually start reminding you that you are much more awesome than this, well, piece of flesh and the bones that you are, and the relevant entity that you are called, and that most likely you end up considering you are, because literally everything is more or less against you. In a world of control where people simply want the best and only for them, it's kind of hard to develop emotionally, and we, the younger generations, are more and more emotional. So the point is, we will probably need a lot of help from the outside as well. Now, angels, well, interpret them as you want. I simply don't take them as the winged humans as we are depicted them in religion and the such. They don't necessarily have that form. They might definitely have more forms. When your third eye starts opening and you start seeing, well, it might sound strange to many, but come again, depending on how much you hate yourself. When you start seeing otherworldly entities, most likely you will see them as black people. Okay, like, well, that's how they are called. It's not that they are like humans with black skin. No, they are more like a black contour. Okay, this might actually be a bit intimidating. It happened to me. Like, I could feel like literally almost see them around for several times, and it was kind of a period. I don't know, it's like it began and it just ended for some reason. I was even waking up seeing entities flying above me, telling me to even open my third eye. It was like one day they actually were communicating with me, and well, I was kind of way too pissed because I was awoken at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, can't you just do anything else? Like, I just want to sleep because tomorrow is gonna be a nasty day. Okay, and yes, angel numbers will start repeating in your life, and they will have different importance, different messages based on the individual. Okay, you will initially be guided, let's say, to the websites that you will need, or to the books that you will need, to the people that you will need, because this is also something that's gonna be on stages. When I first started looking for angel numbers, I would find myself at sites. Now I realize that most likely it was a divine guidance, because everything in life is more or less a divine guidance. Literally, anytime you create something, it is a set of ideas that are sent towards you. Well, actually, they are sent towards humanity, and well, those ideas will seek the most compatible people. And even if they find a compatible person, if someone else thinks more powerfully at something like that, or suddenly vibrates more powerfully, they will attract that idea, and it also depends whoever starts putting that idea into practice. Now, if that person starts putting that idea into practice, it doesn't mean that it is simply consumed there. The same idea can simply leave to seek other people, or it simply may be consumed then, but it will be sent back to the world again. So basically, imagine each and every person as having their seventh chakra more or less open, and The Celts, for example, would imagine the body, for example, as having three cauldrons instead of chakras. And these cauldrons were, well, the one in the head, which was for the, divine inspiration, usually said that at birth it is, you are born with your cauldron upside down, and through life and through rituals, through reconnecting with nature, you would turn that cauldron upwards, and once it fills, being the smallest of ones, it would overflow, and it would have energy flow into the lower cauldrons that you also have to, well, turn upwards. The middle one usually said that you are born with it pointing sideways. Okay, now enough about the Celts. The point with these is that basically they are a wake-up call. They are a wake-up call for you as a young person to realize that your life is not the set of low vibrational things that you're doing. Your life is not only stupid school that you have to go to, stupid movies that you are seeing, playing video games, and spending time unproductively. Okay, they are a reminder that there are things to be done, that you have a purpose, and you have to start actually doing work towards that. It is a process that can be somewhat rough for some, it can be somewhat slow for others. It depends on how individuals chose to be woken up in the higher realms, and depends also on their level of awareness. Some of them may be more aware, some of them might have more spiritual background, so it is a call towards yes, it is a call towards spirituality. Why will these actually be more and more prominent now? Because you see, one thing that I have learned recently is this: nothing in this universe will ever happen without the consent of the universe. So if the world's end would be planned, it won't happen because the universe will not agree. Imagine why certain historical things happened. Okay, why didn't the Germans win the World War? Well, probably the universe did not want that, because at a certain higher level, maybe that war wasn't even planned, or it was planned, but it was planned to be won by the so-called Allies. And not because the Allies were necessarily better, but because things may have been chosen this way to a certain extent. And yes, of course, when things get out of balance in a way, the universe will counteract certain ideas. Now, angel numbers come under different forms, either the same figure or figures combined. The point is, you will usually start seeing simple numbers at first, like 11, 22, 33, which are called master numbers, 44, and they have different meanings. I will cover those meanings in another video. Now, with the situation nowadays, expect to start seeing more and more angel numbers. Then I'm actually curious to see how things are going for you. And this idea of quarantine because of the Kant virus is actually decided upon, and has been decided upon, because what other great way of reminding people that they should become introspective than simply quarantine? Because when you are finally indoors, okay, you can now do two big things: indulge in the same boring things that you're doing with your life, like distracting yourself with movies and ignoring yourself more and more, and well, starting to actually work towards understanding yourself and becoming more and more introspective. Angel numbers purposes vary per individual, but they have the same mission. They are a nudge to wake up to your higher potential. They are a reminder that you are much more awesome than a piece of flesh and some bones, and some useless titles, okay, that other people throw at you. And well, those also serve another purpose. They serve the purpose to have you realize that you don't actually need anyone to tell you who and what you are. You don't need anyone to remind you of your potential and whatever you came here and chose to create. Okay, so well, to wrap this video up, angel numbers are usually a good sign. They are reminders that you are doing good, but they can also be reminders based on the vibration of the numbers. Numbers also have lower vibrations as well. Usually angel numbers, and kind of always angel numbers, are a good sign. Okay, now angel numbers, when they repeat a lot, they can mean that either you are doing the good thing or you're probably straying a bit from what you should be doing. Okay, so don't take it bad if some sources tell you that certain numbers actually don't mean something that good. You will find such sources, and again, you will be guided towards each and everything that you would need. The first thing that you need, and the most important thing that you need to understand, is trust the process. Well, if this video has sparked any interest, well, stay tuned and, become more introspective. I'll throw different videos on spirituality, hopefully daily. And well, until next time, Ferenjan Board signing out.